Judge Joe Brown is so funny. He was saying on the Real Dana show, they was reviewing Pastor Marvin Sapp's video that circulated. Now, this event took place, to my understanding, about a year ago in 2024. But as most things do, when it gets on the internet, they say it lives on the internet forever. So people start reviewing and commenting on this thing about locking the doors. He's taking up an offering. So Judge Joe Brown is commenting on it. And after the pastor said, lock the doors, lock the doors. I know 1,000 of you all can bring $20 up here. And the judge said, for what? You just having these outbursts. Where's the money for? Do you think that he's going to try to tell the they can buy their way out of hell? If sinning, they still going to, you can't buy your way out. You just be sounding off. But the judge must not have been to church in a long time. There's a lot of ministers do this. Aren't you all familiar with this? Now, that video, it could sound kind of rough, like he's apprehending the people and they're on lockdown. They can't go nowhere. Lock the doors, ushers, lock the doors. He just said a couple times, lock the doors, because all of us going to leave at the same time. Ain't nobody going nowhere. So that sounds kind of tough. But there's so many places that do this. Now, I don't think so harshly of it either. Let me let this window up. I don't think so harshly of it. The way he said it sounded hard. And it might not be a good thing whether the person says it nicely or any other way. Because I grew up hearing that. I've always heard that. In my adulthood, I've always heard that. You all have heard that? Ministers in the many of churches, not all of course, tell the ushers, doors, hold those doors. Don't let nobody out. Hold the doors. To my understanding, they're trying to cut down on disturbance. People getting up walking, passing over somebody in the aisles, in the pews, stepping over people, saying excuse me, trying to get out. And then people who's coming into services late. And to keep down distractions and disturbance. So that's the way I've seen it. But I've also heard people say, and the ministers say, it's a form of worship. It's a form of worship, not just bringing the sermon, the word, but giving is a form of worship. So Judge Joe Brown sounded off on that too. What he heard her say, giving is worship. He said, no, it ain't. Here's something else I like to hear. He is so knowledgeable, so smart. So, but what I want to move on from that to talking about, are you overlooking witches and warlocks too? Overlooking witches, looking for witches, but you could be overlooking some witches. With referencing the Old Testament and the popular story, and I put this up on YouTube earlier today. I've already posted this to YouTube, but that was something I said in there and I wanted to retract that. So I decided to come back at you all again, just kind of circle the block. And the story about Saul. The prophet Samuel told Saul to get rid of all the witches in the land. God did not want witches around there practicing their craft. And Saul had all the people to move out. But then he circled back around to the witch. What caused Saul to do that? The same thing that caused many people to do that same thing, because human behavior is not different. It doesn't matter the dispensation of time that we live in. When life gets tough, maybe your back deliver you something. It don't even have to be true. Deliver you something. Because you just need to hear somebody's voice speaking. Tell me, come on, tell me. And that's what he was doing. He was desperate after Samuel passed away. And he went and sought out a witch and disguised himself to go do it. So that shows you right there, he had confidence in the witch's abilities. He believed in what they can get done. That wasn't a new craft, that's an old profession. And he sought the person that's Samuel for me because I need to hear something right now. Somebody get him here. And next thing we see Samuel talking. Now, the scripture does say seeking out somebody with a familiar spirit. So, this person, we're talking about necromancy, this person knowing how or using and walking on the side of darkness to pull up what is unauthorized to pull up, walking in darkness. And we see it happen. It says Samuel showed up. Now, whether that was Samuel or not, I don't know if that was Samuel. It said a familiar spirit, the spirit that's familiar or the resemblance that's familiar to Saul. Because according to the Christian tenets, God doesn't authorize the talking over those realms. Don't try to talk across the realms. All communication cease at the earth door. The earth door is where life in this human vessel stops. Those eternal being, the soul and the spirit have to journey on. The body not going. It can't cross over the earth door. So all communication has to halt, cease immediately. Don't try to go and have no more conversations. And seeking out somebody, or if you yourself have practiced and walked in that, and now you have this new confession, it's best you stop. If I can ask you to stop, if I can compel you to stop, it's beneficial for you so you don't get chastised by God. Because I'm not saying that you're a witch, I don't know, but you're practicing witching behavior out of desperation because you want to be comforted. You don't want to hear nothing from these people around you in your community. You don't trust nothing they have to say, but that person that is not in your life no more, you had confidence in them, and you want to try to hear from them again, but you're going to have to rely on God. You're going to have to relinquish all of your reservations, and you're going to just have to stretch out on faith. Now you got to learn what faith is about on another level. You're going to have to just push in and find out. He will show you. God will show up. If you reach out to him, he will reach out to you. But you got to be persistent in it. You got to stop this stuff about thinking God is a wishing well and you just throw out a prayer. And now he's supposed to come a running. He might have you to sit and be diligent and seeking and seeking. As the Bible says, if you seek, you will find him. If you knock, the door will be open. But that's a keeping. Keep seeking. Keep knocking. It's not a one-time thing because he wants us to learn how to be faithful. Learn to have some withstanding in us. Learning to walk by faith. That's what it is. And we understand it ain't easy to walk by faith, but you're going to have to learn to do it. Especially if you try to reach out on the other side of dimensions. Illegal, not authorized. But let me stay with the witches and the warlocks. In a sense, that's warlock behavior if the ministers is going to demand the people bring their money. There is no demand on money. You remember the situation where, and I'm trying to think of you all. New Testament. Jesus told the people, if you got aught with your brother, anybody, not just a natural brother, if you got aught with your brother, keep your offering. Go and make amends and then bring the offering back. See, that was not a desperation for the money, because you could drop the money, leave the money here, we need it. We're trying to feed the poor and whatever else we're doing. They could have brought the money, dropped the money, and then go make up with the brother. But he told them to hold on to it. It ain't that important. So to tell the ushers, lock the doors, hold the doors, don't let nobody up out of here. That's demanding the people, holding the people captive over their money. Money can't be that important. Like Judge O'Brien said, for what? What you raising the money for? What you gonna do with it? Again, the judge must not have been to church in a long time. These ministers don't be telling no folks what they gonna do with their money. Not all of them. They just tell you bring the money. Just come on, step out on faith, bring the money, because the windows of heaven gonna be open up over you. And I don't know where we see that over in the Old Testament. I think it's in the book of Micah. In the Old Covenant, in the New Covenant agreement. But go over there dipping and dabbing and pulling in and testing it. Pulling, just bring a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And hodgepodge something together. And the people, if you're not building a relationship with God for yourself, just keep falling forward and feel desperate and feel like I got to, because I need the windows of heaven to open up over me, because this is due and that's due, and I just need something to happen. Well, probably should have kept the $20. That's a little bit that can happen, because that's mean to do that to the people. Just keep bringing the money and keep bringing the money, and the communities get poorer and poorer, and the ministries is getting wealthier and wealthier, sitting comfortable and just looking at the people, pretty much smirking at them, when this same age-old in it, and you got to sit quiet with God. You got to spend lots of time. God is a jealous God. He says that blatantly about himself. I'm jealous. I want your attention. You got to give God your attention, y'all. You got to. Now, you got to have the heart of a giver. Don't be withholding and holding back from some place that you go and you frequent often. You have to have the heart of a giver. If you're getting encouragement there, you're getting support there, you're getting help there, you're fellowshipping there, give. Please be a giver. Don't close down your heart. The bowels of your compassion. And not just to people, and then to your organizations that you frequent. Give to the people. But give according to what you're capable of giving, what you want to give. But that was kind of warlocky right there. That was kind of warlocky. Anybody who does that, and witchy for any women who want to do something like that. But are we overlooking some witches? Could you possibly be overlooking some witches? I dare to say yes. When we look at how the scripture describes the witches, they again try to deal in the powers of darkness, but also we look at, I believe it's in the book of Numbers, where it says rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. It's a simile. The sin of witchcraft. Now we already know witchcraft is evil. God calls witchcraft evil, is not of his kingdom. So what could we be doing, or anybody be doing, that's rebellious? First, witchcraft is trying to turn another person's will to your own. It's trying to bend their will. So how can you do that? It can be done subtly. We can do that in manipulation. Let's take women. Men can do it too. Crying. If you try to get your children to bend to your way. Your spouse, the person you're dating, your siblings, anybody to bend to your way. Start crying. Tears could be your form of manipulation. That's wrong. We're supposed to be mature enough to have a rational conversation, a logical conversation, and then, hello, thank you all for coming in. And then if the conversation is not going in your favor, halt the conversation, revisit it at a different time. But not crying to try to get your way. And then being pissy, getting mad. I'm going to throw a fit. I'm going to threaten. I'm going to holler. I'm going to cuss. That's manipulation. You're trying to get another person to bend. If I just holler enough, cuss them out, put a good cussing on them, they'll know what I'm talking about. So then your expectation is that this person back down so that you can push your way. That's mean, sisters. You in this kingdom, the kingdom of God, that ain't the way that our Father tell us to take. That ain't the way. Put that old weapon down. That's in your old nature. Your new nature is supposed to be outgrowing your old nature. You cannot operate with them old weapons no more. Put them away, throw them away. Why are you trying to reach back over that tiptoe and get them weapons? So, and intimidation, all three of those, manipulation, intimidation, and domination, is trying to bend another person's will. That's rebellion. That's rebellion against God. Because you cannot change somebody else. We know that. You're not supposed to be changing nobody else. If you can change them, they don't need Jesus. They need you. We can't even change ourselves. We got to yield ourselves. So we're talking about witches. Now, real witches, people who work in darkness, like they have the different, I saw some lady's channel, and she had a whole list, y'all, a whole list of things that you can call witching. I guess people could label themselves. There was Wiccan witch, art witch, lunar witch, eclectic witch. That's a mixture. The eclectic, she said, is secular and religion mixed in. Say, look at here, religion. Did she say religion? Secular and religion mixed in together. That was a whole list. I can't think of all of it, but I just wanted to listen to, again, her channel to see what she calling witch. Now, she said in a positive fashion. She say, own your craft. If you're a witch, you're a witch. And you could be a kitchen witch, a green witch. Oh, there's a whole lot of witching, y'all. But guess what? Let a witch do what a witch do. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I ain't mad at no witch. Y'all mad at witches? You shouldn't be mad at no witches. That's the kingdom of darkness. All of us had to come out of the kingdom of darkness. Where were you? Where was I? I know where I was. Now, I didn't do no witchy poo like that, spells and concoctions and put some needles in some dolls and say, I'm hurting this person. Not that kind of stuff. But we did our own little manipulation stuff. Because that's the kingdom of darkness. When you live for Satan, you got to live, you got to represent right now. What's wrong with y'all? You got to represent. He's daddy. Satan is the God of this world like God told him to be. And everybody operates in that kingdom. Influence. So we come out from under daddy Satan and come under creator God, a new daddy. Now we got to learn the new daddy's ways in his house. Daddy God, creator God, he got new rules. He said, this is the way we're going to have it over here. You put old daddy out, take his ways with him, or you go back over there with him. So witches and people who are still unrepentant and walking in darkness, that's just right territory for witnessing. We're supposed to be the light of the earth. We're salt of the earth. And then light too. And we go and try to impact that kingdom. All we're doing is dropping seed and bringing water. Just stay as an evangelist, trying to impact. And then they make up their mind as God sees fit. They'll make their repentance step when they see fit. You all hit that like button if you don't mind. My name is Vanessa, by the way, if I hadn't said so. But being mad at somebody that's walking in witchcraft and walking in darkness, that ain't none of our business. But to recognize what they're doing. Now, when the Bible says, suffer not a witch to live, what we're going to do with that? Because that's Old Testament. They said, they actually put them down, they stoned them. That ain't the new covenant way. We don't operate like that. We don't go and run up against somebody else's body. We don't bring harm to nobody because God wished that no soul perish, right? So our suffering them not to live is first recognizing the witch within, our own behavior, because we're supposed to be crucifying our old ways. The Bible doesn't say that our old ways go nowhere. Once we make this confession, it didn't fall out. The old man didn't go nowhere. In fact, it said the old man and the new man wrestle all the days of our life. There's a fight going on. That's why we wake up to a fight. We go to bed just finishing a fight with ourselves first, because we got to outgrow our emotions, learn to execute past emotions. We have to work on our temper, put that down. We got to fight with jealousy, fight with envy, fight with covetousness, fight with being overzealous, pride, the old man. Galatians 5:19, right? We see some more trace over in Revelation 21:8. We have to fight our own old nature. Now, I'm not saying we walk as a witch and a righteous person. No, but we're dying. We're dying to them old ways. Them ways got to be put down. Or we can easily pick them. Just keep on walking with this profession. Just keep on, can't we, y'all? Keep on walking with this profession and just walking secular, worldly, as we call it, and doing what we want us to do. And say, God know my heart. Yeah, we got to keep pushing each other to righteousness, because that's the wrong answer. That's the wrong answer, but that's a prevalent statement that's always made in the Christian kingdom amongst a lot, not everybody. God knows my heart. God knows my heart. And what do they mean, you all, when people say God knows my heart? You know what they mean. That means I'm going to do what I want to do. And I'm going to use this crutch statement to do what I want to do, and God going to forgive it. Now, God is a forgiving God, but what you're doing is you're resting. You're resting in your old nature because you don't want to fight and put in that work to crucify yourself. And that's what we're supposed to be doing, crucifying every day. Crucifying and stop getting relaxed. Because I said it at some point years ago, God knows my heart. I didn't know no better. But what I meant, the way most people mean it, is God knows my intent. You're talking about my feelings. He knows my intent. But no, that's not what the Bible is talking about when it says know the heart. The heart is our epicenter. It's how we think. And so in one facet, everybody who says that is they're right, but they mean their emotions. But no, God does know how you think. He knows your thinking is stubborn. He knows your thinking is against him and you're mean while you wear the confession of Jesus in your mouth. So see how we have to keep examining ourselves, and instead of pointing outside of ourselves, external, saying that's a witch and that's a warlock. They may not be. I don't know. But I do know they're in their own kingdom. They're in the kingdom of darkness. Let them stay over there. While you just keep a witness in your mouth, be ready to witness to them. Be ready to let your light shine while you keep on killing those old tendencies of the witching behaviors that's in there. So you don't be the witch that you overlooking. Are you overlooking you? Don't overlook that witch and that warlock. Put them down. Suffer them not to live. And don't do your body no harm. That's not what I'm talking about. Your ways. Put your ways down. We got to keep pushing each other toward righteousness. I hope you see me as a sister. Don't see me as an enemy. To push you. I love your soul. I don't have to know you. I don't need to know your name, your family, what your gender is, what is your pedigree, where you work. That don't matter. That's your business, where you work and what your family line is and what your ethnicity is. I don't care. That's yours. I love your soul because you're a human being. God assigned you a soul and a spirit. And he called us once we make that conversion. He said, now come on and be a disciple. Come on. Challenge somebody else and tell them, come away from those ways. Come away from those manipulative, nasty ways. You know you're trying to scandal somebody. Have you all been the victim of somebody's scandal? They're scandalizing your name. Got a smear campaign all up and down the highway on you. Many people, we're not going to jump off this earth. We got to live right here in this earth and deal with this stuff. It's a war between the righteous and the unrighteous every single day. Every single day. That's why we have to stay girded up. We ain't got time to play. We don't have time to play with the kingdom of darkness. But we still got to keep our focus straight, keep our heart clean, so we can be ready to witness. Because people are lying on you. People try to set you up for failure. And you got to keep your voice in God's ear saying, Lord, you know. You know. Ain't nothing I can do about this, unless there is something you can do about it. Can't be naive and gullible. If you can operate within the parameters of the law, if it's something that's legal and you can get in there and defend yourself and advocate for yourself, don't be gullible. Don't be naive to take the necessary rights the legal way. But I mean don't harm nobody. That's not the way of God. Because actually we're supposed to pray for those who spitefully misuse us, right? And then do good to those. If your enemy needs water, give them water. And you have to pray for your enemy. We got to do it. And no need to label everybody as a witch. Everybody's a warlock, because we say that a lot, especially in the Christian community, in our church, in our religious environments. Oh, I think it's a witch in here. I think some warlocks in here. They probably are. They're supposed to be. Everybody who don't walk up in churches is righteous. Everybody who even saying the name Lord, Lord, he said you ain't out of mind. So we just have to know these things. Just know it. But the individual like me, like you, we just have to keep strengthening. Keep strengthening. Because God's arms are outstretched. Always waiting. He's long-suffering. Waiting for that person to yield. Waiting for him. Just like he waited for me and you. So don't be so worried about this person, a witch. I think that one is a witch and they're a warlock. And just don't hang around them. Don't you go in fellowship with them. Don't you participate too much with them. That's what you do. You get to make the decision for your life and how you gonna circulate. But at the same time, yeah, those witches. Look at the witching behavior within. That's the witch we could do something about. That's the witch. You can put them down, put her down and say, look here, heifer. It ain't happening today. You done with that. Because we have to come up against ourselves, right? You got to tell yourself you acting up. You know you acting up. You showing out. Have that tough conversation with self without condemning self. Because we're coming closer in connection and relationship with our Father. He loves, and he loves hard. Come on, y'all know it, he loves hard. That's right, saved through grace, saved through grace. That's how we're all standing here. So don't be focused out there on them witches trying to look for the witch. People some of these on these platforms, these people are on a witch hunt. They know they looking for some witches, but I'm just be sitting there with like, but I wonder if you looking at you. You can't ignore you. You got to keep on putting you down, examining your own ways, and see if you're slandering somebody. We know this tongue is a deadly weapon. It's untamed. It's turning worlds upside down. You got gossip. We in this world of this technology. We turn our phone on like I got mine on now, and you have your voice all across this state, that state, down the road, all across the holler, up and down the valley, and you ain't even got to meet these people. Just turn your camera on, turn your phone on, and you could just be a gossiping your butt off. Gossip. Got somebody's name just a running, and you just, even if it's true, there's a way to call out something and not harm somebody. And because things can be said where it's tough for a person to not be able to recover. It's tough because of what you said. The event just might be right, but people need a space that they can recover. We could be too hard on each other. We could be too hard on another human when God is lenient, when God is graceful, God is merciful. But let a human lock something between these jaws, and we got a bulldog hold on it. And this person got to live with that. They got to live in their community, in their family every day with this shame hanging over their head because we're being too hard on somebody else. Forgetting that I'm struggling myself. I'm trying to get up. There's some things that need to be called out, like we're talking about church behaviors and events that hurt other people, that's causing the saints to have a bad view and a bad perspective of God. They think God is a genie. He's just gonna give them stuff. Though he does want us to have stuff. He is not against stuff. He ain't. But he wants to have us. If we lose all the stuff, will we walk away from God? Or will we just praising God to get some stuff? See, that's the wrong perspective. That's the wrong relationship. That ain't even starting no relationship. I just want God to give me some stuff. So I got my hand out. And I'm seeking his hand, but I'm not seeking his face. And seeking his face is seeking his ways. Because God can drive a hard bargain. Read that Old Testament. He can drive a hard bargain. He called it all love. We can call it anything we want to call it, but he called it love. We looking at the nature of God, and he's only love. He's not evil. Thank you all for stopping by the channel. I hope that you receive some encouragement in here today, and you all stop by again some other time, just hang out a bit. Turn your notifications on, because again, I did upload this earlier around noon Pacific time. Then I took it down so I can come back. I never come on this time of evening, but that's what I jumped on here again to upload. So you all turn on your notifications just in case on my job schedule I have to just switch around a little bit so you all can be notified. I appreciate all y'all's time. Anytime you show up over here, I appreciate you. You all take care, okay? Be safe where you are.